Hello everybody. So I am inside of the house right now. I'm actually going outside. I wanted to show you all my garden in the backyard, and I'm actually going out of the front door right now, but I have a garden in the backyard, and it's a hobby that I've kind of picked up since we moved into the house a year ago, and I wanted to share with you all my garden since it's something that I do quite regularly. So I'm actually walking around to the back of the house right now, and our backyard is relatively small. It's not very big. It's big enough for us. We don't have kids or anything like that, so we're not worried about the size of it right now. It's actually quite perfect for us, especially considering that before we moved here we lived in an apartment. We didn't have a backyard at all, so we're just happy to have a backyard. So here is my garden, and you can see that it is a garden that's been placed inside of a raised bed kit, and I got these raised bed kits at Home Depot. They actually come, you purchase them as a 4x4 raised bed garden kit, and I've attached 3 of them together, so it's actually a 4x12 garden plot right now. I put down one last year, the one that you see there in the middle. That's the one that I put down last year, and then I added the 2 on the ends this year. And so going inside this first plot, you can see that I have some strawberries planted. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one over there in the corner. And then I have some cilantro or coriander, depending on what you call it. And then I've got some parsley there in the corner too. And occasionally my strawberry plants have been getting little blooms on them, which you can see right here. And this is the first year that I've planted my strawberries. They are perennial, so they'll come back next year. But what I was told in a gardening book that I have is that the first year you plant them, whenever you get a bloom on it, which this bloom will eventually become a strawberry, but in the book it said if you pinch off the bloom when you plant them the first year, the plant will establish really strong roots, and then the next year, the next spring and summer, when the plant starts to develop blooms and strawberries again, they will bloom even stronger and more full. So I'm hoping that by pinching off these little flowers next year I'll have a really good strawberry crop. And I'm going to leave this one for now, but I'll probably come out here and pinch it off later and check on any others and see if they have any blooms, and hoping that will actually work for next year. And so in the middle plot here, I've got some little itty bitty tomato seedlings that are growing. And then over here I have some chives, which have been growing since last year. They actually made it through the Colorado winter that we have here, and so I was pretty amazed this spring when they started growing little purple flowers, and actually some more flowers are about to bloom here. I've got some little small plants over here, some basil, which is very small, very tiny leaves, and then over here I just have some flowers that I'm growing. I've got some foxgloves growing right now in this part, but this is my garden, which I'm out at visiting every day. So I water my garden 3 times a week. Actually, I don't come out and water it. We have a sprinkler system set up, and it waters the garden itself. Colorado is a very dry state, so I guess meaning the government, they try to regulate how much water the city of Denver, people living in the city of Denver can use. And right now we're at 3 days a week, which is pretty good. It hasn't been too dry this summer here. But I guess I'll show you the rest of my backyard now so that you all can see what it looks like. So you can see up there is the back of our house, and that's our porch up there that we occasionally sit on. In the morning, the back porch is shady, so it's best to sit out on the back porch at that time because it's not too hot. At this time of day, the shadows from the trees, which you can see on the ground, do start to reach towards the porch, but it's not probably until about, I don't know, 7:30 or 8 that the porch is fully in the shade. So that is our porch, and then this white building that you see here is our garage, and it actually takes up the majority of our backyard. But kind of going this way to give you all a better view. This is our backyard here, and there's the garden over in the I guess southwestern corner of the yard where it does get the most sun. The sun is starting to set, so there is a lot of shadow in our yard right now, but during the earlier part of the day the majority of our yard is in the sun. So I also wanted to show you my rosemary plant, which I've actually planted in its own individual pot instead of in the garden. Here is my rosemary plant right here, and I tried to grow rosemary last year, but it didn't do very well. But this year I decided to put it in its own pot because it seems to like less water than the other plants that I'm growing in my garden, and so it's doing really well in this individual pot. This year I water it maybe once a week, and also I put some gardening lime in the soil maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and that's really seemed to help it to flourish. And so that's my rosemary. I really like rosemary. It's really good to cook with, I think. So that's my rosemary plant. And that was a little tour of our backyard. I hope that you enjoyed it. Gardening is a favorite hobby of mine. I'm very new at it, still learning a lot, but I like being outside with the plants. And Colorado is a good place to be outside. We get a lot of sunshine, and the weather, it can get hot here, but it's fairly mild for most of the year. And so what are some of the hobbies that you like to do? Post your favorite hobbies down in the comment section, and I'd love to hear from you all to hear what you all like to do. See you later.